Welcome everybody. This is the pre-HomeStory Cup 10 show. I guess we can call it. I just came up with that because we weren't given a name. I'm with Roddy, Mana, and iNcontroL, and we're going to be talking a little bit about the tournaments and the groups, which are going to be revealed in a second. Yes, man. Yeah, I just realized it's all
Protoss. Yeah, so biased.
We just got sent the groups actually. Let's take a look, boys.
All right.
I'm looking at your faces right now, not at groups. I want to see how you react. Yeah, a lot of good players actually. Like the 30 players out of 32 were announced earlier, and a lot of big names. So it's gonna be interesting to see which groups are more stacked than others. Which matchup we can start looking forward to the most. Something funny, man.
Are you guys downloading this as slow as I am?
Yeah, yes. I just got it. I just saw my group, and I'm with freaking TaKeTV again.
So what?
No, I always beat him in every tournament. This is disgusting for me.
I need Marius to send it again to me because I didn't have him as a contact, so now I couldn't see the group.
I can see it. I can see it.
You got Kangho and Dimaga as well, Mana?
Yeah.
In Group G. How are they up against you? Like, how do you think you will fare against them?
I think Kangho just won the HomeStory Cup qualifier. I think he won versus Saxtry in the finals to get the paid trip. So he is in a pretty good shape, I believe. Dimaga is more focusing on Heroes of the Storm, I think. So I don't think he will be a big threat for me. Playing versus Kangho will be difficult, but maybe I'm pretty sure he doesn't know my style. So I will be able to surprise him more or less, and I'll see what will happen. But I'm gonna get crushed by TaKeTV, that's for sure.
Let's say this too, for a day one HomeStory Cup, these groups are fucking insane, by the way.
And you know why,
There's not
Jeff?
an easy group here.
That's because we're not in them.
I know. Well, no, Todd, you would only have made it harder, you know what I mean? Probably not. No, this is definitely the way to end the year. Like, look at these groups. You gotta... Yeah, your group's really tough, man. You can beat TaKeTV though, right? I mean, I know he beat you twice, I think, in 2 best-of-3s the last HomeStory Cup. Or no, did you split with him?
No, I lost. Wait, no, not to. Yes, I lost to TaKeTV in HomeStory Cup once, but I don't remember. He beat me so many times. I'm like, I don't know, like 20-1 in map in series or something like that. I'm really behind versus TaKeTV.
All right, so you're telling me there's a chance.
There's a...
You have done it before, Mana. There is nothing to worry about.
Yeah, but now my PvT is much worse, or overall Terran is much stronger, so it's different.
Protoss is much worse. All right, we're going to talk about all the groups, and we're going to start with Group A. We already talked a little bit about your group, Mana. Kev, what do you think about Group A?
Group A seems pretty fun, but I think it's going to be really rough for our foreign hopes, Kane and Bling, since TaKeTV has pretty much already won this tournament. He's already wondering how to celebrate it. He's working on his speech before Jeff is going to make fun of his celebration speech again. So.
He's been getting better. Way more emotion from him.
All right. I mean, Kane against Saxtry, maybe. I think this is going to be really rough for Bling, but let's be honest. Bling doesn't go to HomeStory Cup to win it. Bling goes there to get drunk. So I'm pretty sure this is really good for Bling and us and for the tournament.
He's probably going to win the Looping Louis tournaments. Jeff and Mana, what do you guys think about Group A?
How is TaKeTV's form? Because from what I hear, he's holding true to the statement that he's retiring at the end of this year, and this is like it's this and DreamHack winner. So I guess with this being before DreamHack winner and after BlizzCon, I guess we can assume he's in very good shape. Yeah. You know, he still likes collecting checks. And then of course there's stories of like him going into a tournament playing FIFA the entire week before, not practicing, and then winning anyways. So I guess I shouldn't even ask such a silly question. But as always, I'm pulling for the foreigners, like you mentioned. But I agree with you. Bling is not looking at this hardcore HomeStory Cup and saying I'm going to go win. He's probably like, all right, I'll be in pretty good shape and then I don't know, do okay. But Kane's been looking to have a breakout tournament, and it's unfortunate looking at that group because it's like maybe next time, you know, maybe Saxtry is so sick ZVZ and TaKeTV is fucking TaKeTV, and you have to take top 2 in that group. How do you beat those two if you're Kane? I don't think you can possibly do it.
I mean, it's funny that you say Saxtry ZVZ is so insane because I saw a series between him and Namshar. And Namshar is no like super good player in Europe. He's like maybe one of the upcomers. I don't really play versus him. And Namshar just crushed Saxtry 2-0. So I'm not sure about his ZVZ. I think Kane has a chance. overall, Teja will be first in this group no matter what. But Kane and Saxry, they will fight for the second place. But I would say definitely Saxry is favored. But I wouldn't say it's that easy. Like it's not the same as for Teja.
Yeah,
I'm a little
I
bit
agree.
surprised to hear you do that math, Mana, where you're like, one time I saw this one bad player beat this good player, and I don't know. That means we have no faith in him. It's like, well, the other example is, didn't Saxry just like almost win a tournament, or did win a tournament in a ZVZ Grand Final?
He did.
Wow, that's a pretty good example of a ZVZ being
but
pretty good,
anything may
isn't it?
happen. Anything may happen. I'm telling you, there's a chance.
I think.
I'll tell you
okay,
what. Here's where we get the real answer, and you know I'm a degenerate. I'll give you 2-1 on $100. How's that?
No, of course I will not bet against Saxry. He's been pressing every single time. I'm just giving some hope for the foreigners. I'm still convinced Saxry will win, but I'm giving
I
a chance.
I see Roddy talking about it, just thinking about it.
I was like 3-1, and I'm in.
Yeah, you want 3-1?
For Kane against Saxry. But like,
Yeah.
I will only take it if it wedges out like this. I'm not sure if the group works like this, but let's say Teja plays against Kane first, and Teja wins, and then I think Saxry beats Bling, then Teja beats Saxry, and then Kane beats Bling. And then if it comes down to one best of 3 between Kane and Saxry, yeah, I would take 3-1 on Kane. Like, that seems like a good bet to me.
One best of 3. So you want the advancing one or the first one?
No, like only if they play for the advancing one. Because if they play twice,
Okay.
then it just becomes a lottery.
I'll tell you what. the
We talk
chat
about
will
it.
remember.
We talk about it in Germany, Jeff.
No, it's fine, Kevin. I'll get you slotted right here. We'll do it, okay? If they play for elimination or advancement, 3-1,
Alright.
$100.
Okay, deal. Then it's on.
All right, guys,
Fine.
it's official. The show has derailed, and we only need to play. I was gonna say first of all, Namcha I think is really underrated. So just winning one series against somebody else, I don't feel like it means that much. Like if Saxry had lost a few series, okay, but I do agree Teja and Saxry are the two favorites. But Kane, I think, is one of the hardest working foreigners right now. So if there was one guy that I would like put as having a chance to beat some Koreans and advance from that group, it'd definitely be him. All right, Group B. TY, also known as Baby, Harstem, the Muslim, and TLO, the 3 Europeans, one from each race against the Korean Terran. Roddy, what do you think?
Well, obviously, if you like TI, this should be a pretty good group for him. I think this is actually really hard to call, man. Like, Harstem has been one of the most solid Protoss players in Europe for the last 9 months, I would even say. The Muslim is still very hit or miss. Like, I think we all know how good Ben can be, but at HomeStory Cup, for some reason, it never really it happens for Ben. I mean, he did win HomeStory Cup 1, but that's a solid 3.5 years ago. I'm not sure how relevant that is right now.
It was all foreigners. This is
and
like half the
TLO
turn
is-
screen.
Yeah, and TLO, we all know that TLO is very strong, especially when he plays at Takes Apartment. In general, he does really well there. This is a tough one. Maybe TI and TLO, actually, even though like I'm very close with both Harstem and the Muslims, so I hope that they advance, but I think TI and TLO look good in this group.
Guys, Mana, Jeff?
Jeff?
I agree with a lot of what he said. Like, DeMuslim, obviously, as my teammate and friend, I want to be like, Ben's got this in the bag. But to be honest, he's earned our pessimism, unfortunately. Like, he's a great ladder player. He's a fantastic guy. Great personality. But usually that's the kind of stuff you talk about Todd or me, and here we have DeMuslim still competitive. So I'm waiting for Ben to make good on his talent. And if he topples Harstem, TY, and TLO, that's the beginning of a statement. But I don't want to add too many buts to these, but it's like, this is just the first group, so even that won't necessarily like make a tournament. But this would be a good place to start. Can he beat TLO? Yes, although TLO is certainly one of the best foreigners. Can he beat TY? I don't know. Can he beat Harstem? Yeah, his old best matchup was TVP. But that's a lot of ifs. I think the favorites for this is obviously TY. Baby was one of the hottest Terrans like a year ago. It's been a while, but he's still, a Korean Terran, which makes him one of the absolute best players on the planet. And then it comes down to, in my opinion, if you're a betting person, Harstem versus TLO, which one of those two comes out second? And I guess I would give the edge to Harstem. He's been rock solid for a while now.
Yeah, I have to agree with everything you said, Jeff. I think there's not much to add. I would say TY is TY is like the favorite, just like in Group A,
Yeah.
Stasia. And it's going to be a battle between the 3 Harstem, the Muslim, and TLO, but I would rate Harstem and TLO just slightly higher than the Muslim, because the Muslim hasn't been like performing in tournaments, while Harstem has been in Premier League already. TLO has been there as well. And well, I would say. No, I don't know. I'm not saying the second place. It's going to be a battle between Harsem and Tila for the second place. Yeah.
And I'd love it if Demuslim upset all of us. We could very well be wrong, and it's like,
He did have a couple
good start.
of. He did have a couple of good victories recently. Like I opened his Alec Gulag page just to confirm, but he did beat Welmo, he beat Deishi, he beat Vortex. Like those were actually very notable
Where did
results.
you beat them?
In the same tournament he lost to you, Mana.
Oh. Okay.
It's okay.
Remember the show match we had recently where Harstem played Demuslim? Actually, there was lots of trash talk, and Demuslim won that. It was like how long ago?
Yeah, that was when we hosted it. It was like a best
real
of
trash talk or like harsh trash talk?
fun trash talk. They were playing really well. The games were actually really good. Unfortunately, all three of us were drunk, so we don't remember much. But I remember lots of storms and EMPs and the Muslim playing very well. Great games.
Very good.
All right, Group C, MC, Mini Razor, Bunny, and the last player to be announced later. Roddy, get us started. What do you think?
I really like TBA in this group. Like,
because
Could be
it's
anybody, man.
I don't know. Sounds like a fun group. MC should make it out, but I don't know. It also, I think it depends a lot on how well he does at BlizzCon. I think if BlizzCon doesn't go well, he probably doesn't play a single game up to this tournament. And Mini Razor and Bunny are definitely two extremely good Europeans, like pretty much as good as they get. Bunny probably the best Terran, and Mini Razor, between top 3, top 5 Zerg in Europe. So I think they have what it takes. Yeah, no, Mini Razor is solid. I think Mana would attest to this, right, Mana? Or are you going to do?
I mean, I don't know Mini Razor's barcode on the ladder. According to the tournaments, the only achievement I would say was the Premier League that he attended a round of 16, and other than that, he had nothing, right? But being in Premier League is quite it's considered to be a good achievement. So, top 5 Zergs, I would say, yeah, why not? Sure.
Yeah, but how well do you think he would do against MC or Bunny then?
Against MC, nah, not really. MC is like, I think he's like above other protesters when it comes to like executing the all-ins and overall understanding the game. I think he will not have a problem versus Mini Razor. Versus Bunny though, MC would have a lot of trouble. And Mini Razor versus Bunny, I think Bunny will do very well. Bunny's TVZ is extremely good, and Bunny was the person to knock out Saxtry out of WCS Challenger League to win a best of 5 against Saxtry, so we have to keep that in mind.
I like this group. I mean, it's all pending who TBA is. Obviously, that could be anything from like a Targa to fucking, another Korean Protoss or something like that. So who knows? But I want to see how Bunny performs here. He's been red hot as a foreigner, and he has what it takes. He used to be a bit of a TVP sniper. I know he always talked about how he hated TVP, but like there was a hot couple of months there where he was sick in that matchup. He could beat MC. That would be really cool. But we'll see.
All right, Group D. Polt, Hazuob, Deishi, and Snoot. Again, 3 foreigners, one of each race with a Korean Terran.
Hazuob, is he that Hearthstone professional player I've been talking I think I recognize that name. Yeah.
I know who Artosis is cheering for.
It's redemption time. Snoot's got to make it out because when he goes to HomeStory Cup, anything less than pretty much first place, but I guess second place he'll settle for is a failure. So he's making it out.
He does often lose against Deishi though. Like Deishi beats Snoot pretty often, if I'm not mistaken.
But not at takes place though. I don't think he's ever beat him at takes place, and they played many times.
Yeah, that's because Deishi always stays up till 6:45 in the morning when he has to play at 9.
This is day one though. This is the best. This will be the best Deishi we see this whole tournament.
It's actually funny because Deishi, when he parties, usually he does really well at takes tournament. And the one time I told him to go to bed early, just got demolished the next day. So I guess he knows what to do. He
plays with a beer in his hand. That was always fun.
I agree. Like Deishi has been holding his beer in his hands all the time. And I think that was the time where he was top 8 in the HomeStory Cup last time, I believe.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to see Deishi and Snoot making out of this group. But Polt will be in the way, of course, right?
So what are you smoking, bro?
I don't know about that. So
it's gonna be either one of those two, but Polt's gonna smash. I mean, Polt's a monster, like one of the absolute best on the planet right now.
I think depending on how the matches will work, there's a chance that Snoot and Deishi will advance if Snoot gets to play versus Polt twice. I think, and Daishi will get to play versus Snoot. For example, let's say the first place. I think Daishi might, I don't know. You said he has a shot of winning versus Snoot. I don't think that will happen, but there's a possibility. I'm still saying Polt and Snoot advancing, but there's a chance again, just like for
I
Kane.
agree. There's a chance. I like your optimism. I'm never going to snuff that out, man. I want to keep that light alive inside of you.
I'm pretty sure Daishi still is not a big fan of TVT, so I don't think he's going to be very happy with being with Polt and Snoot. But I guess he's not the favorite, so he's not going to have any pressure as well. On the other hand, all right, Group
Was
E.
it Bomber he beat though in the best of 5, the last?
Yeah, and
Yes.
that was
Yes.
crazy actually because he beat Armani, then he went to party with like a lot of Koreans, and they saw him stay up until 7 a.m. And like the next day he went and played and won against probably the best of 5. And then he was telling me how like the Koreans must think he's a god because like he barely slept. Group E, Flash, Soke, first, Red, Jeff. I know what you're gonna say. Go ahead.
Well, yeah. I mean, Zake, I think that's another Hearthstone professional. I think him and Hasselhoffs are in the same Hearthstone organization. Rhett has been having a little bit of a breakout for himself. He's on the upward swing. Like it was kind of quiet Rhett times earlier in the year, and then he hasn't like won a major tournament, but he's just been playing a lot better. So
Yeah, he was really good at the recent DreamHack, the one that you guys did. Even though he lost like in group stage number 3, he got so close. Did he lose the decider against you, Mana? Damn
Yes.
it, Mana, you have like ties with all these players. But yeah, I
quietly
know that.
crushing the hopes and dreams.
Yeah,
I'm
no, like, I know
sorry, it's
Red
just a
Ace-
liquid kill.
Yeah, Red aced his second group stage, and then he also won the first best of 3 in the deciding group stage, but then he lost like 1-2, 1-2 in the final 2 best of 3s. But that was a really good showing by Red.
Flash is going to smash this group. He is. He's an absolute monster. I think he's one of the favorites to win this whole thing, and that's getting away from the like inherent Flash fandom. Like everyone's, oh my gosh, he's going to win beyond this tournament. It's going to count towards the next like the next BlizzCon. He wins that too. I don't know, but looking at all these names, he's one of the absolute favorites. And then First is kind of the anomaly. Like I've seen First look unstoppably good, and then I've seen him get dropped by, to use mana math like a Namshur or something like that in a pretty important match. Like he just gets bopped in the head.
Poor
So
Namshur.
I don't see him losing to Sake. He could lose to Rhett, and he should lose to Flash. So there's a chance. There's a chance Rhett makes it out of here.
This is going really well, guys. For every group,
I completely
there is a
agree. I
chance.
think Flash probably gonna take First, and First is doing pretty well these days. Actually, like he had some good performance online and all that, so most likely to get second here. But Red, I know he's been practicing hard. He stopped casting just to focus more on playing and all that. So
Yeah.
maybe something funny, man.
Yeah, because Red is a professional caster, as Hasselhoffs and Soka are the Hearthstone players. Red is a caster now.
Come on, he casted 2 tournaments and then he turned down like a couple offers to cast tournaments.
He did.
So,
He did legit. Yeah.
All right.
Just quit trash talking your teammate, man. Jesus. Have some team spirit.
I
He's
know
a
Red
good needs a
was
caster, anyways.
Okay, Group F. Parting, Stefano, Grubby, and Yoda. What the hell? Like, I haven't even seen this one yet. This is ridiculous. Jeff, what do you think?
Well, you guys tell me. I have no idea. Is Stefano, like, I know he's always got a barcode with like 700 games on it. Is he still doing that, or has he actually gone quiet? Because he hasn't streamed in a while.
So
Yeah,
Todd has a beautiful story about
Yes,
recently
yes.
playing against Stefano.
Supposedly, Stefano does not play, but recently I went to a Meltdown opening in a city in south of France, which is around where I live. So I went there to play a show match with him, and I was like, man, I'm just going to smash him. And then it was going really well. Then suddenly he made a couple Swarmost, and I lost like shit. So Stefano, honestly, against Protoss, he can always make magic happen. Against Yoda, I just don't see it happen, even though like when I say the same thing in I was thinking the same thing in Nation Wars, he beat like a lot of good Terrans. Yoda, I feel is going to be another story. So having 2 Protoss, I think he's pretty fortunate to get these guys. Like I'm not saying it's a win, but he's definitely going to have a chance against them. And then the 3 other guys, like Parting, Yoda, and Grubby, this is obviously the 2 Koreans going to be the favorite, but Grubby definitely one of the guys that can practice and possibly beat them. This is the group I'm most hyped for, I think.
Yeah, I like a lot of what you said. I think it's interesting. Stefano is like a comeback player. Did get a fairly good group, although, like even as far as Terrans go, Yoda's not one of the absolute scariest, but he's just enough that I think an unpracticed Stefano probably doesn't stand much of a chance. But what do you guys think about Grubby? Like results-wise in tournaments, I think you could be fair in saying that he's had a downward swing in tournament results. He's actually been losing earlier in tournaments. His WCS performances has been falling off. It's obviously not for a lack of want and for a lack of practice. He's one of the hardest working pro gamers there are, but I could see him getting dropped pretty hard. Like, Parting's the favorite. Yoda's got to be edged over Grubby, and then even a Stefano could do the tragic steal of a win and then, like, go get drunk that night and vomit and not wake up for his first match and, like, just completely ruin the opportunity. But do you guys like Grubby's chances here at all?
I wouldn't say he's favorite to advance, but I do think Grubby has a realistic shot in advancing. Like, Yoda is an absolute god in TVZ. Like, TVZ is so extremely good, but TVP is actually, like, it often comes down to SCV pools and stuff, and Grubby is still a very smart player, and he can kind of read into stuff like this. So, you know, easy prediction is that Parting wins this group, and I think the deciders match will be between Grubby and Yoda. I think Grubby has a chance. I wouldn't put him down more than like 40% against Yoda.
I think Grubby has only a chance versus Yoda and Parting if he plays them only in one best of 3. I don't think he can win a second best of 3. I think he's a tricky player. He can play some solid games, but overall he has his like own point of view about the game. And still, Jeff, I want to. You said Parting is the favorite for the group. Don't you think it's Yoda?
Really? You picked Yoda over Parting?
If Arstem was here, he would get really mad and flame us and say that Yoda is definitely the favorite because he practices with him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a pretty big Parting fanboy. Like, I'm biased. There's just no question about it. He's one of my favorite players. But I don't know. You guys get more close contact, with Yoda than I do. But Yoda and Parting don't play either. Parting's very much the Korean area, and Yoda, while he practices on the Korean server, he's in the Europe area. So I don't know. It'll be interesting for sure. Okay,
Group G, we got Kangho. I already talked about it a little bit. Anything to add, maybe? Did you talk about it, Kev?
No, I didn't talk about it, but yeah, this Protoss is obviously extremely screwed. Just kidding, man. Just kidding, man. No, you know, for both Congo, it's going to be his first HomeStory Cup, and sometimes people have like some trouble adjusting as well. Mana has always been solid. Like, Mana either goes very far or sometimes he drops out early. But over the years, I think it's safe to say that he's been the most consistent European Protoss like that we've ever had. Since the very first DreamHack, Mana was already runner-up, and since then he's always had good results. And sometimes, you know, a few months it was silent, but then he would bounce back again with another couple of good victories. So I definitely think that Mana can make it out of this group. Yeah, let's say Jogji and Mana. Jogji wins and Mana second.
Wow, there we go. Nice. We can say some nice words. Good job. Yeah, but on the other hand, RotterdaM, I have to say the truth that I've never ever performed well at HomeStory Cup. Never. So it's tough for me to
change from Poland to Germany.
After he just praised you,
just so much jet lag.
No, but I mean, I wasn't referring to you at HomeStory Cup, so I was referring to you in general.
Yeah, just saying that like it's hard for me at HomeStory Cups. I don't know if it's the atmosphere or the computers or anything. It's just not my tournament. I enjoy being there, but it's not good for me tournament-wise.
Okay, Group H.
Super confident heading to this.
Hey, I have 2 weeks to work.
Yeah.
That's good.
Group H has Hyun, QXE, Jaedong, and Lelbo. Is H for Hyun, Jeff?
Yeah, I like that. Did they do that? Is that no? Okay, that's just there. Interesting group. Like, Hyun in the past has been one of the few Zergs to actually beat Jaedong in ZVZ. You know, the matchup he has the most confidence in, so that's scary. And then there's like super underrated players that play pretty well. I want to get on the QXE bandwagon of sorts. There's not like a giant bandwagon, but like I think he's a very good player. I think he plays very, very well. But he's been to HomeStory Cups in the past. He's been. Let's just put it this way. He doesn't have a good track record of going over to Europe and playing tournaments. Like, I can't name a tournament where it hasn't been, not just like he didn't do well, he did bad. He did like objectively bad. So I'd love for him to break that like streak. And then there's Lilbo, who's like continuously the most one of the most underrated players. He's extremely good and can beat very good players, and every time he does, he gains zero recognition and nobody gives a shit. And I don't mean that as a cross against him. It's just like he's always done pretty well and beaten good players, and yet every time he comes up in a tournament, people are like, "Oh, Lilbo, I believe I once saw him in the summer of 2012 at group stage 2 of a DreamHack." It's like, no, he's been everywhere. He's doing great. He's scary. He could beat a Jaedong for sure. Not a Hyun though. He'll get smashed by Hyun, I think.
Mana?
I think Lilbo, like Hyun, Jaedong, and Lilbo, like looking just at the names, we can say, okay, Hyun, Jaedong, it's rather obvious that they are going to advance. But I think Lilbo has very strong PvZ, and Snoot keeps on saying that on the Team Liquid chat that Lilbo is so sick in PvZ, like he's so strong and he has so much trouble against him. So I need to believe that Lilbo has a good shot at winning versus Hyun and Jaedong. But I wouldn't say he's the favorite. He has a realistic shot. Not like Kane versus Saxry, but he has a very good shot at winning versus them. So I think I can say a first or second place in this group.
Kev?
No, I agree, but I do not agree with what you just said about Kane versus Saxry. I really think that Kane has a realistic shot against Saxry. What the hell, man? Kane is freaking solid. He's so good.
Okay. They both have realistic, but I think Lilbo has a bigger shot, like a better chance than Kane versus Saxry. That's my opinion, just.
Maybe against Jaedong, but like Jaedong looked actually pretty good against Protoss in that recent tournament in China, even though, you know, you could say there wasn't too many good players there, but he still beat Hero twice, I think, pretty convincingly, so, you know, Hyun is obviously the favorite on paper, but this is like one of these groups that is either going to be really boring because everything will go how everyone expects it to go, or we actually have some amazing games where QXC does finally have that breakthrough best of 3 where, you know, he defeats Hyun on LAN and then suddenly Lilbo defeats Jaedong and we're looking at QXC versus Lilbo for a winner to advance. Like, that would be awesome, but it's difficult. On paper, you would obviously go with Hyun to win it and then probably Jaedong second, but, you know, I hope that we get surprised in this group. Otherwise, this group is not fun. But if we
I think that's a really good point. I think this group could be 100% straight up, or it's the Lilbo QXC story. That being said, if we're calling for upsets, I don't want on the Jaedong side, guys. Okay, so we can have it on the Hyun side. Super biased over here.
A rough end of this year, actually. Like, he started really well. Like, he scored a lot of points. I remember him thinking he was safe for BlizzCon, and then barely making it at the end, like in 16th position. So he hasn't been in the best shape recently, but I don't know, with BlizzCon around the corner, maybe he's practicing like a madman and he's trying to do a deep run like last time. So that's going to be, I think, a big question as to how he's going to be playing. And I guess at BlizzCon already, we're kind of going to have a better idea already of what shape he's in. We know he's struggling a little bit against Stern, but is it enough to lose to a QXC who I guess also, you know, kind of said he was going to step away from casting to focus on playing because he wasn't satisfied. And, you know, he even gave himself a deadline up until, you know, if he feels he's still not improving, he will retire and stuff. He wrote some blog about this. Then you have Lilbo, top-rated Korean, European Protoss on the ladder all the time, who's supposedly very good against Zerg, but did still get kind of smashed, you know, by Solar at DreamHack. But I guess Solar was too good then. So I feel like this is a very, like, one of the most open groups. Almost everybody will agree Hyun is probably going to take first, but then, you know, I feel like almost any of these guys could make it, and that makes it very interesting.
What is exciting about this group is that you know that all 4 players have probably been playing a crazy amount. Like QXZ has been very vocal about it. Lilbo does seem to be a pretty active European Protoss and is obviously waiting for that, not just like a breakthrough, but finally like a memorable run. Because so far he like posts good results, wins a good best of 3, but it's not like he made a top 8 or a top 4 in a tournament that people can truly talk about for a long time. Hyun is always playing a lot, and Jaedong has BlizzCon coming up, so he should be in really good shape as well. So that's kind of fun about this group. Like, all 4 players should pretty much be in the best shape that they can possibly be in.
I agree.
And
I love you guys.
Mana,
yes,
if you want to give a shout out or say some final words, we're all going to go one by one to close this out, so you can go first.
okay, yeah. So I'm looking forward to see you guys at HomeStory Cup. It's just a few weeks off, so and we're gonna have a lot of fun in the as it's the 10th HomeStory Cup. It's basically a decade of HomeStory Cup, but not really a decade. So I'm just looking forward to that.
All right,
Really
Roddy.
well said, man.
Yeah, obviously extremely pumped. Want to give a big shout out to Take for always trying to be creative with this tournament, always trying to step it up, and also bringing pretty much everyone over that has ever like had like a fun experience with HomeStory Cup. It's like, oh, Naniwa, I know you canceled on 4 of my tournaments, but if you want to come, you're more than welcome. This is like this is Dennis in a nutshell. You know, he's just Dennis is like truly a god of esports. So obviously, I'm really excited. For now, like a lot of our priority is still at BlizzCon upcoming weekend and stuff. That's really important. But yeah, I'm super hyped to be back in Europe and see all my European friends again. And of course, we're gonna try to make it as much fun as it possibly can be.
Jeff?
Thank you, Todd, for hosting this, and I have to echo their sentiments. HomeStory Cup has been a tournament I've been to not nearly as long as like a RotterdaM. I think I'm catching up to Mr. Bitter in numbers, but it's something that I look forward to a couple times a year because it's like we are really, really lucky to have so many cool people in this community, and Take has really embraced like bringing them all together, and I think a lot of people feed off that. You hear all the comments all the time about how cool the culture of HomeStory Cup is, and this is almost a celebration of that with all the big faces coming together. A new, like a party building is like what we're doing for the venue, and then it's also a celebration of the fact that this is a competition. So we're, you know, half the attendees are some of the hypest Koreans, including Jaedong and Flash, which is amazing that he put that all together. So big, big love to Take and to everyone that makes that possible. And then for me personally, I'm just super excited. The tournament season's wrapping up in November. You got BlizzCon, HomeStory Cup, and then DreamHack Winter. There's other things as well, I'm sure, but for the most part, this is it. December's the month where everyone takes a deep breath for a little while, and then January we jump back out in the water with both feet. So hopefully you guys will all tune in and enjoy it. I know I will be there having an absolute blast, and I can't wait.
Are you ready to make some football bets, Jeff?
Football bets? Dude, I got my hand burned a couple times by the Seahawks not doing what they're supposed to do. So I've been like,
you're offering everyone 3-1 payouts, and they keep losing.
Those are the only bets I lost. Is the ones that they're supposed to take care of freaking business. And the ones where they're like playing really good teams, I'm like, all right, 1 to 2, 2 to 1 odds, and I win those bets for no money. And then I'm like 3 to 1 because they should really take care of this team, and then I lose. But yeah, I'll make some bets. I'm still hyped on the Seahawks. So.
After everybody gave a shout out to Take, I'm still gonna give him one too because I think it's pretty amazing what he has set up. I'm very excited actually for the new setup in the club. We're gonna be playing from a new venue. It's gonna be massive, and I just can't wait to see what it's like. Shout out, of course, to my team and sponsor of the tournament, XMG. And yeah, thanks to you guys for coming to do this. It was fun. So I guess I'll see you guys at HomeStory Cup.